Hi, good morning. Thank you for attending our Hoonko service. Hoonko meaning a gathering to express our gratitude. A service in memory of Shinran Shonin, the founder of our Jodo Shinshu. Now, we shall start service.
to open by quoting the words of Shinran Shonin, so please pause for a moment. Those who deeply entrust themselves to Amida's vow of great compassion should all say Namo Amida Butsu constantly, whether they are waking or sleeping. End quote. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, everyone. It is really nice of you to observe this Hawaii Betsuin Online Hoonko Service. First of all, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Hagio Rinban, the ministers and members of the Hawaii Betsuin for inviting me as your guest speaker. Before the pandemic started, I always attended Sunday services with you at the Hawaii Betsuin. Therefore, I wish I could meet you in person and observe this service together. Unfortunately, it is not possible due to the current situation, but we can still observe the service and share the Nembutsu teaching with you today. Thank you again for this precious opportunity. It has been about 2 weeks since the new year started. The year 2020 was a challenging year for all of us because of the unprecedented spread of COVID-19. Therefore, I was hoping that this year would be a peaceful one when the new year started. There is a hopeful sign that the vaccination program started in Hawaii last month, but the pandemic is still ongoing. There is also a social turmoil caused by the presidential election. Last week, we heard the sad and shocking news about the event happened in Washington, D.C. Looking at the current unstable situation and the news that comes in, I think that many people are living with worry and anxiety. However, even in such a situation, we can still listen to the Buddha Dharma, or rather, I should say, it is truly significant to turn our heart to the teaching of Buddha, which certainly brings us the peace of mind. Today, we are observing the Hoonko Service. This is a memorial service for Shinran Shonin. He passed away on January 16, 1263. It was 758 years ago. And therefore, this Hoonko service is the 759th memorial service for Shinran Shonin. Let me talk briefly about the life of Shinran Shonin. He was born in 1173 in Kyoto, Japan, during the Heian period. He was ordained at the age of 9 and entered monastic life, studying on Mount Hiei, the center of Buddhist studies in those days. He studied and practiced on Mount Hiei for the next 20 years. However, in spite of all his effort, he couldn't achieve enlightenment or spiritual fulfillment. On the contrary, the more he practiced, the more he became aware of his imperfect part. He was there for 20 years, but when he was 29 years old, he was determined to leave Mount Hiei and to find another way. After he came down from Mount Hiei, he met Honen Shonin and became his disciple. Honen Shonin's teaching was different from the ones that Shinran Shonin practiced on Mount Hiei. Honen Shonin taught people, just say the Nembutsu and be saved by Amida Buddha. Then the Shinran Shonin learned the teaching of Nembutsu and finally found a new direction in his life. Honen Shonin's followers were growing in very large numbers, so they were frequently criticized by the older established schools of Japanese Buddhism. As a result, the Nembutsu teaching was persecuted. Then the Honen Shonin was exiled to Tosa province, the present Shikoku, and the Shinran Shonin to Echigo province, the present Niigata prefecture. Shinran Shonin was pardoned later, but he couldn't see Honen Shonin again. He was pardoned at the age of 39. After that, he moved to Kanto region with his wife, Lady Eshinni, and the family, and propagated the Nembutsu teaching there for about 20 years. Then he returned to Kyoto, wrote many books, and passed away at the age of 90 on January 16, 1263. So, what did Shinran Shonin do? And what did he say in his life? Shinran Shonin revealed the teaching of Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in his life. So in this Hoonko service, it is important to remember the life of Shinran Shonin and to listen to his teaching once again. And I sometimes receive a question about the meaning of Namo Amida Butsu. For example, Sensei, I always listen to the teaching about Namo Amida Butsu and I kind of understand what it means. But when it comes to explaining it, it is difficult. Or, I understand that Namo Amida Butsu is important, but why is this so important among the many paths of Buddhism? Have you ever thought this way? So in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, it is very important to say Amida Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu has two aspects, calling and responding. It is Amida Buddha's voice calling to us. I am always with you. I will save you just as you are. I will make you be born in the Pure Land and become a Buddha. When we hear the sound of trees, we can say that the wind is blowing, although we cannot see the wind by our own eyes. We cannot see gravity by our own eyes, but if we see something fall, we can say that the gravity is working. Likewise, when we hear the sound of Namo Amida Butsu, we can say that Amida Buddha is calling us with a great compassion. And when we say Namo Amida Butsu, we can hear that sound in our ears. So it is important to continue listening to and remembering the meaning of Namo Amida Butsu and receive Amida Buddha's compassionate heart. Then we can respond to Amida Buddha with full of gratitude, saying Namo Amida Butsu, which means I entrust my heart to Amida Buddha. Thus, the Namo Amida Butsu has two aspects, calling and responding. The Amida Buddha is always trying to reach us. Then I would like to talk a little bit more about the aspect of calling. I once had a conversation about Namo Amida Butsu with a college student who is a member of a temple in Hawaii. He attended the Dharma school since he was a little and always attended services at his temple. I met him when I participated in the statewide program for young people. At that time, he asked me the following question. or Reverend Takahashi, I met one elderly lady at the Sunday service. At that time, I was curious about her because she recited the Nembutsu many times throughout the service. I always recite the Nembutsu at the beginning and the end of the services and the Sutra chanting that I always recite when I do offering of incense. However, she recited even when she did nothing. She recited even while a minister delivered the Dharma Message. Do you have any idea why she recited the Nembutsu aloud? This is a question he asked me. I can imagine that the elderly lady rejoiced at the teaching of Nembutsu and was always saying Namo Amida Butsu. Then I told him that we can say the Nembutsu and remember Amida Buddha anytime and anywhere. It was first time for me to receive such a question from a young student, so it left a deep impression on me. Then I have another experience that a temple member shared a similar episode with me. Then I heard it from a long-time Hongwanji member. He said, Sensei, when I was a child, many people recited the Nembutsu a lot during services. My grandma also said, Nammandabu, Nammandabu, not only at the temple, but also when she was working in the house or doing housework. At that time, I didn't know why she always recited the Nembutsu, but as I listened to the teaching, I gradually became aware of the reason why she always did that. So this is a story that another Hongwanji member shared with me. Just now, I shared two episodes. The two of them shared with me that they had a strong impression of the Nembutsu followers who always recited the Nembutsu. At the same time, these episodes made me have some thought. They wondered why some followers continuously recite the Nembutsu at first. However, the two of them also rejoiced in attending the temple services and listening to the teaching of Nembutsu. I think some people may have started reciting the Nembutsu after they thoroughly understand the teaching, or they came to feel that the teaching is reasonable. However, I guess that many people started reciting the Nembutsu by seeing people who recite the Nembutsu. They would be parents, grandparents, friends, temple members, or ministers. In other words, different people and conditions would have enabled us to start reciting the Nembutsu. Then we would be delighted at the significance of the Nembutsu afterward through listening to the teachings again and again. I mentioned that there are two aspects of Namo Amida Butsu, calling and responding. We may think that I say the Nembutsu, but if we think about how we started uttering Amida Buddha's name, we would become aware that I say the Nembutsu, but something enabled me to say the Nembutsu, or we would realize that Amida Buddha kept calling me. Amida Buddha is the Buddha of great wisdom and compassion. He established the supreme vow to save all of us from the pain and sorrow. He was determined to become the voice of Buddha so that he can communicate with us through His name. He is calling to us. I will become Namo Amida Butsu and save you. I put all the virtues into Namo Amida Butsu. I will keep calling you. I will reach your ears as Namo Amida Butsu. I will come out of your mouth as Namo Amida Butsu. I know you have worries, suffering, and hardships. I will embrace you just as you are. I will make you attain birth in the Pure Land. I will make you become a Buddha. I am always with you. Please count on me. Please call my name. Shakyamuni Buddha praised Amida Buddha, who can save all beings regardless of time and space. His disciples, the 7 Pure Land masters in India, China, and Japan, including Honin and Shonin, were pleased to hear this teaching and spread it to others. Shinran Shonin encountered this teaching and revealed his understanding as Jodo Shin Buddhism, or the true teaching of the Pure Land. Since then, this teaching resonated with a tremendous number of people and has been transmitted until today. At the beginning of my message, I read Shinran Shonin's words. I will read it again. Those who deeply entrust themselves to Amida's vow of great compassion should all say Namo Amida Butsu constantly, whether they are waking or sleeping. In this passage, Shinran Shonin encourages us to constantly say Namo Amida Butsu. Thanks to different people and conditions, we encounter the Nembutsu teaching. We might think that saying Namo Amida Butsu is a simple expression, but we can learn that Namo Amida Butsu has a profound meaning, calling and responding. In Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, it is important to continue listening to Amida Buddha's vow and how warm and how kind Amida Buddha's heart is. For through listening to this teaching and saying Namo Amida Butsu, we can firmly walk the path of our lives with Amida Buddha and share the warmth with others. Once again, thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity today. Let us continue listening to Shinran Shonin's teaching and live our daily lives reciting the Nembutsu. So thank you very much for listening. So please put your hands together in Gassho and let us recite the Nembutsu together. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
Once again, thank you for participating in this service. Through reflecting on ourselves, we shall live a life of spiritual fulfillment. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida.